did do a lot of slam once upon a time, but I kind of stopped doing it because I like things like this, where there's no competition and everybody wins. I'm just really loving all of your energy tonight. It's really beautiful, and all the poets that have come up before. I feel really honored to be here and to feature. It's really quite an honor. I didn't know what I was going to walk into, so thank you all for being here. This is the place where we do not measure time in seconds. We measure time in lessons. The day you learned to tie your shoes. The day you learned to pray for your enemies. All of these lessons wrapped up in our skin. Moments when you bore witness to the divinity of your own ancient pulse. Days when we could break beneath the weight of the beauty that shakes us awake. The day we learned that this thick pain can only ever give way to a new day of ecstatic praise. The day we learned that this mere fragile body, electrified by a complex network of light, is indeed as resilient as the earth, who grows and dies and grows and grows and dies and is born again and grows to see the sun rise again and again and again and again. The cyclic mass extinction of our hope. Longest nights precluded by afternoons swollen with laughter. A flame bent by the wind. A wick rekindled again the day a feather came soaring into the palms of your hands. This is the vibrant land of danger and bravery, where we can only ever discover that we are breathtaking, risk-taking miracles equipped with razor-tipped faith and an insatiable appetite for growth and grace, whatever it takes. Spirit never dies, but only gives way to the changing landscape. It takes on a new face and changes its last name, but it's forever fueled by an original flame. This is the place where we do not measure time in seconds. You see, here we measure time in lessons. Every flesh wound a blessing, where everything begins with forgiveness and ends in love, for that is all that we ever really mean. This is where you will be born. This is where you will die. This is where you will be born. And this is where you will learn to fly. Yeah! Alright, I'm trying to keep it a little short because I know you guys are listening to hella stuff. But go ahead and play Sex Machine. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully it'll work. You turn that louder. For all my men. Actually, wait, start over. All my men and all my women. Yeah. You don't need a fancy car to get the girl of your dreams. You don't need a job to give a girl what she needs now. It's about time we grow into a baggy Whoa, I can't believe I'm featuring at the same show that Red Mill and Cody's featuring at, right? Oh. Okay. I have learned what I can from staring at brick walls. I have memorized the face of imprisonment, every brick just a little bit different. I have learned to seek and find the weaknesses in stone, where it crumbles, where it breaks. I have learned to bask in the small rays of light that shine through the breach, like a woman who is lost in the desert will try to drink the falling rain. I have learned what I can. I have learned that even just a spoon, a woman can dig herself out and escape imprisonment. I have seen God unravel in a moment what the darkness has spent years knitting into our skin. Following the hints of love, I have seen the sky, glimmers of what we are born for. I have learned to love and accept my earthen siblings who wish to stay behind barricades and even rejoice when another is built. I have learned to love and accept those who become accustomed to confinement and even relish in the wild taste of these iron bars. I have even learned to love the mason, who delights in our agony and laughs with every flick of the spade. I have learned what I can from staring at brick walls. I have searched the lines over and over like a mad woman thumbing in the dark, searching for the Achilles heel of the heart, praying that this facade might give in and we will all surrender to the nature of our unity. I have learned how to push and press against the mortar with all my hope and all my might. I have learned to bend, to break, to make this imagination crack open wide in the name of my people. In dreams, I have seen the buffalo stampeding through the chasm of our audacious faith and into the light. I have learned to wield the machinery of compassion, heaving words like cannonballs at the barriers that divide us. I have learned to pulverize the silica, the alumina, the lime, and iron oxide of these bricks into a fine powder, and with it spend my days laying down sand paintings, smiling as I try to illustrate the beauty I see in each of you, in our Creator, and the love that sleeps within. I have even held in my eyes liberation in real time. Women born into captivity, stepping into the sunshine. Men shed walls like the rainbow serpent sheds her skin. I have learned to dance to the deer-hide drum after all of our efforts ripen and fall like walls plunging into a wondrous heap of dust. And I have learned to gather my strength when I realize there are many more walls to go. But most of all, what I have learned is to never, ever give up. For if I will not know the taste of collective emancipation before my death, then by God, my children will. For if I won't dance with all my relations around the celebratory fire, then by God, our children will. For even stone and concrete cannot stand against the eternal winds that beg for justice and sing incessantly, tirelessly, this song of oneness, sweet oneness. We are coming for you, sister. We have not forgotten your name. We are coming for you. We have not forgotten your name, even after all these years. I thought I'd sing this song or rap this song or whatever. And yeah, I just dedicate this to all of our brothers and sisters who are struggling with their skin color. Just want us to feel home, whatever skin color we have. Go ahead. It is dawn. The sun is conquering the sky, and my grandmother and I are heaving prayers at the horizon. Show me something unbeautiful, she says. Try it. I could not. This morning, my grandmother is teaching me the meaning of Johnston. Although there is no direct translation from the Navajo language into English, every living being knows what Johnston means. For Johnston is every drop of rain, every leaf on every tree. It is your every eyelash. It is every feather on the bluebird's wing. Johnston is undeniable beauty. It is in every breath that we give to the trees, and it is in every breath that they give to us in return. Johnston is reciprocity. And my grandmother knows this well, for she speaks a language that grew up out of the desert floors like red sandstone monoliths, like the arms of the earth reaching into the sky and praising creation for all of its brilliance. Johnston is remembering that you are a part of this brilliance. It is finally accepting that yes, you are a sacred song that brings the Indigenous, the gods, to their knees in an almost unbearable ecstasy. Johnston is remembering your own beauty. And my grandmother knows this well, for she speaks the language of a local Chukai snowstorm. She speaks the language of hooves hitting the earth on birthdays, for she was a midwife and would gallop to the women in labor, and she is fluent in the language of suffering mothers, and she is fluent in the language of joyful mothers, and she is fluent in the language of handing a glowing newborn to its creator. Johnston is an experience, but it is not something you can experience alone, the eagles tell us, as they lock talons in the stratosphere and fall to the earth as one. Johnston is inter-beauty. And my grandmother knows this well, for she speaks the language of the male rain, which shoots lightning boys through the sky, pummels the green corn children, and huddles the horses against the cliff sides in the early afternoon. But she also speaks the language of the female rain, which sends the scent of dust and sage into our hogans and shoots rainbows out of and into the earth. Us the net, we know what Johnston means. And each and every one of you knows what Johnston means. And deep down inside, we know what Johnston does not mean. Like the days that we walk in sadness, or the days that we live for money, or the days that we live for fame, or the day that the conquistadors came, climbed down from their horses and asked us if they could buy the mountains that our children played upon. Now, we knew this was not Johnston, because we knew you cannot buy a mountain, but we knew we could make it Johnston once again. So we took their silver swords, and we took their silver coins, and we melted them with fire and buffalo hide bellows, and recast them into squash blossom turquoise and silver jewelry pieces, and strung it around their necks. We took the silver helmets straight off of their heads, and transformed it into a fearless beauty. We made jewelry. Johnston is the healing of broken bones. Johnston is the prayer that carried us through genocide and disease. Johnston is the prayer that will carry us through this global warming, through this global fear that has set our minds on fire. This morning, my grandmother is teaching me something very important. She's teaching me that the easiest and most elegant way to defeat an army of hatred is to sing it beautiful songs until it falls to its knees and surrenders. It will do this, she says, because it has finally found a sweeter fire than revenge. It is from heaven. It is from Johnston. And so my grandmother is talking to the colors of the sky at dawn, and she's saying, which means beauty is restored again. It is dawn, my friends. Wake up. The night is over.